ESPN, including you, were involved with power ranking the Vikings. So if you're mad about the power rankings and the Vikings being 15th, guess whose fault it is?
Well,
you.
I voted on it. I'm not like one person who voted on it. I voted on it. I had them listed higher. I had them at 12.
Oh, okay.
So outside the top 10.
So then it is ESPN's anti-Viking agenda.
Oh, absolutely. Totally anti-Viking.
All right. So they have them 15th overall. You said that they were 12th.
I had them 12th.
Where do you want to start here? Do you want to go back and forth? Like you pick a team that's better than the Vikings and I will.
That's fine. Let's get up to the Vikings.
Yeah, then we'll see how many we can pick before, and that's their power ranking or what it should be. All right.
Okay.
So I will go first and pick the New England Patriots.
I mean, are we doing this in order of like from 1 to 12?
I think that's hard. Why don't we just pick teams that we know are better than the Vikings?
New Orleans Saints.
I will go with the Los Angeles Rams.
I will also go with the Rams.
You can't do that. You have to pick another team.
Oh, wait. So we're not doing like back and forth. Okay.
This is worse than pie charts.
Man, I got
what
this
is going
wrong.
on here?
Fine. I will go with the Kansas City Chiefs. It's hard. Sometimes directions are just not made for people who are out of the box thinkers like myself. Damn it. This is awful.
Oh, man.
Stop making fun of me.
No. I'll go with the Bears. Should have been writing these down because you're going to pick the same one you picked twice.
I'll go with the Colts.
All right. I am going to say the Los Angeles Chargers, I think, are still better than the Vikings.
Philadelphia Eagles. How many more do we have?
Has anyone been counting to how many we're at?
Let's go like 3 more. Let's just call it even. Let's go like 12. Because I think we're right around there.
Okay. Yeah, somewhere around there. But I'm seeing this is where I'm having trouble, though. Like, are the Packers better than the Vikings? I'm not sure. Are the Falcons better? I don't know yet.
I would say Seattle's better.
Are we sure Seattle's better? Like
on paper, yes.
I think their offensive coordinator has no idea what he's doing. So that kind of hurts them. They have a better quarterback. It's not even close. But I think when your offensive coordinator goes against the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs and just tries to hand off every time on the first 2 downs, that you're probably not a guy they should have in that position. Did you see Dwayne Brown, their left tackle, said we should have passed the ball more last year? Like, your offensive lineman is saying we should have passed the ball. Offensive linemen love run blocking.
It's amazing how that's the narrative there and what the narrative was here with what the offensive lineman said about what they did, versus what they didn't do.
Yeah.
But you bring up another team. I think you could throw Dallas in that mix.
Are you sure they're better?
I would say they're in the same realm of, on paper, projecting wise, it's probably a safe bet, because I don't know if I put the Browns in there. I don't know.
The Browns are a really hard one.
I struggle with that one because it's all paper.
I think I would.
Okay.
I would say that the Browns have a better roster right now. They have the 2 superstar receivers. They have a better offensive line. They, I think, have a better quarterback, but we'll see. But I think so. And they have a great defensive line. Not quite the number 1 defense like the Vikings have the potential for next year as a top 5 or maybe even the best. But they should be pretty darn good on defense with that D line. I think I will say that the Browns are better.
It's fair. I just, like we talked about with Pat Mack at the top of the show, is it going to be a colossal failure? Can you really put all these pieces together and all of a sudden expect it to work? I mean, yes, they've been building this for a while. John Dorsey's got a strategy here, and he's not afraid to trade guys. He's not afraid to go big and go after guys too, but they haven't been able to put it together. I mean, they started to last season once they made the switch, but is this the long-term answer?
Houston and Baltimore.
I would put Houston there. Probably Baltimore too. I think we're like 15 though.
Houston signed Matt Khalil.
I know, because they don't have the cap space really to do anything.
I'm so scared for Deshaun Watson.
I know.
I mean, if he was scared last year and he's got that unathletic dude in front of him.
If you're Rick Spielman, you should be like, guys, there is a team with a worse offensive line. So you guys are overreacting. There is a team, one team who has clearly a worse offensive line. Teams that are hard to figure out here: Falcons, Panthers. I say even Detroit Lions. They've added a lot of talent. I don't know if they're going to get better or not. Seattle is a hard team to figure out. San Francisco with Jimmy Garoppolo coming back is a hard team to figure out. They've added a lot of talent. Aside from that, though, yeah, I think you can get to probably 7 or 8 before you start having the conversation. And then with a team like Houston, you look at the quarterback and go, well, They do have a better quarterback, and I don't think there's any question about that. So, all right, well, maybe you definitely put them there based on their quarterback, but their all-around team isn't really better than the Vikings. So there is this conversation. I think that they're closer to where you had them 10 to 12, that you could safely decide, okay, Patriots for sure, Chiefs for sure, Rams for sure, Saints for sure, and Philly. Beyond that, and I'm not even sure Chicago.
That was the next one I was going to bring up. Are we buying that? I think that let's see where they had them, because the Vikings in this poll, they went Vikings 15 and then Pittsburgh 16. Pittsburgh's one. Granted, it doesn't really affect Minnesota all that much. I think they are better than Pittsburgh too. Where do they have the Bears? They had the Bears 6th. I don't know if I'd put them there.
That's pretty high.
I think I had them. I think I had the Bears 10, something like that.
I think they're dipping back a bit, but they could still make the playoffs. The wild card here that I just don't know, and that ESPN had them hand in hand with the Vikings, is Green Bay, because the spectrum of results potentially for Green Bay goes, in my mind, anything from 6-10 next year. It doesn't work. The roster isn't good enough. Rodgers continues to fall off. Or, 13-3. Like Rodgers, if he plays the best football in a new system and their defense is as good as I think it's going to be next year, which is a big step forward, I think, they could be 13-3. I don't know which it's going to be for the Packers. They're the hardest team to pick in the league for me.
I just think that and once again, it goes back to the argument of you can crush free agency, but it might not pan out. I just can't see. They literally hit on every single position of need, especially on defense, that they needed to go after in free agency to set themselves up for what they want to do in April. So I just have a hard time looking past that and being like, well, you got good players, you paid money for good players, and you even overpaid for a guard that's probably going to be pretty good. But I just have a hard time believing that won't be a success for them.
So you think that there's a really good chance that they're a great team. The only thing that I look at as a potential downfall is Rodgers last year didn't want to throw the football. Like, it's crazy to look at his Pro Football Focus grades on the throws he did make versus what his stats were, how many throwaways he had, how many sacks he took. Like, he was standing back there and then throwing the ball away.
Which is why they need to go get a vertical threat to replace. I mean, they don't have Randall Cobb anymore. Not that he really was that at the end part of his career with Green Bay anyways, but that's why they need to go get somebody like that, because he didn't have the true vertical threat, kind of like Kirk Cousins.
They probably will be drafting somebody like a weapon in the top, but they're a tough team for me. Well, anyway, thanks for playing, Courtney.
This is a fun game. I'm sorry I screwed it up at the beginning. Actually, but I rebounded.
I think it's better when you botch every game we try to play.
I wouldn't say it's botching. I say it's just bending the rules a little bit here and there.
Picking the same team.
I miss that part.